Hi, everyone. Welcome to Around the Emirates podcast with Sarah, where I speak to guests from across the UAE about topics you want to hear about. Today, I am joined by Waleed, a person who followed his passion and quit engineering to become a photographer. Hi, Waleed.
Hi, Sara. How you doing?
I'm great. Thank you so much for being on the show. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, we made it happen finally.
We made it happen. I've been begging this guy for months, and we're finally here. So, Waleed, please tell me your story. What exactly inspired you to leave your previous career?
It was sort of like a gradual process where I started off in engineering. I was in oil fields, deserts, and oceans and stuff like that. And I always had a passion for the arts in general. I was a musician at some point. I had a band all throughout high school and university. So when we were all like into the workplace, we kind of missed it. We kind of missed the music and the art. So we came together and started a recording studio called White Cube Studios, and we were sort of this this home base for musicians in the UAE. And through that, I learned photography just by shooting the artists that were coming in, and slowly just as a photographer. Later on, we shut down the studio. I lost my job and decided just to not look for another job and just, this is what I'm going to do now. I'm going to do photography. I'd already built up like a good client base. I was already making some good income on the photography side. So it was kind of like a long, like 3 or 4 year transition to like, full-time photography.
Right. I see. And how long did it take for you to be officially quit, engineering and then go straight to photography?
I think 2013 was when we started the studio, which means kind of like when I started shooting. Maybe 2015, 16 was when I quit.
Officially,
I kind of lost the job, and I said, okay, yeah, that's I'm not going back to employment anymore.
I love that. I'm not going back to employment. Fuck it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay. And what would you say was your biggest obstacle since you've become kind of a photographer?
It was just that anxiety you get when you don't have clients calling you, and especially in the summers, usually June, July, August, there's nothing going on in the city, so there's really no work. So it's that anxiety you get of like, is it me? Is it my work? Is it so you gotta now plan. You have to make your money in 8 months for the year, for the 12 months of the year. And that includes like not just your dailies and rent and all that. That includes like those 3 months that are dead, that
Right.
you need to leave, go on vacation. It's rough to do the first year, but after you've done the first and second years, you kind of realize that, hey, it's not you. The summer will pass, and then you'll get back to work.
I see. And so what kind of techniques did you have in mind to be able to help you throughout that time at the very beginning, when you were like, oh crap, like summer is here, etc., and you need to be able to save up that money? Like what kind of, did you have like a financial kind of budgeter or something like that to help you kind of keep track of everything?
Yeah. I mean, obviously in the first year you don't have a plan, right? You're just
right.
Oh crap, this is happening, And then on the second year, you're like, I'm not gonna let this happen. I'm gonna work harder and and get some work in the summer, and then you try it, and then that doesn't happen. And the third year, you're like, okay, I need to plan for no work.
Now I know what I'm doing.
Yeah,
Got it.
So,
okay.
So it's really just about like looking at your yearly income, then dividing that by 12, and that's how much you have to spend every month, right? But you can't be spending everything that you're making all the time in each month.
Right, 100%. I know that you've done a lot of partnerships. Like there's a lot of different places where kind of your art and your photography has been showcased. Do you want to talk to me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I mean, there's quite a bit. I'm not sure like if anything specific pops up, like especially like there's my main, let's say, biggest product was called Rock Your Ugly, which I turned into the book, right? And that's published. You can buy that on Amazon and I think Kinokuniya in UAE, as well as Virgin. I've exhibited that in a bunch of places in Dubai. It was in Moto. It was in One Life.
Remind me what that book's about.
It's about the the title is Rock Your Ugly, and the tagline is a middle finger to toxic beauty standards.
Nice.
And it's a collection of stories and portraits of people going through things in life, like breast cancer survivors, eating disorders, vitiligo, things like that, where there's some mental health issues as well, where we talk about just regular people going through life, just showing you that everybody has issues,
Right.
almost just us.
I understand. That's really inspiring, and I'm glad that my listeners are, hearing this episode, and they can, if they want to pick up that book, I think it would be a really interesting read. I also see a hat that says "Mawjood" on it. Does that mean anything?
Yeah, it does. It's a project I started during the pandemic to try to get people to get back to work when everybody lost their jobs. I put my hand up on Instagram and said, "Hey guys, I'm going to do this thing where come through. We'll shoot a photo of you. You can pay me or not pay me, whatever you have, whatever money you have or you don't have, it's all good. I will put you on this fake magazine that looks cool, and we'll put you on the cover. And the magazine's called Mawjood, which means I'm here, I'm present, I exist, but also hire me, right?" So the idea was to sort of fake promote everybody,
right? Like a visual CV.
Into looking like a really important person. Hey, I'm on this cover of this magazine. Hire me for being a graphic designer or whatever it is.
Right.
So that was cool. That kind of worked out, and then we turned that into an NFT project, which I'm currently doing now.
That's incredible. I mean, obviously, so selfless of you to even have the idea of, hey, I'm going to do this for you. I know that we've all struggled in the pandemic. Here's how I can help, even if you have no money at all. This is just my part in this, and something that you also enjoy. So I know that you put actual heart and soul into it, which I think is incredible. So obviously, I mean, you like working with all these different types of people and being the photographer of your level of expertise. You must have come across some funny or weird situation that you were thought like, what am I doing here?
There's a lot of those. I'm not sure what funny or weird situations. What am I doing here?
Like something crazy, like, oh, I did not expect that to happen.
Yeah, caught me off guard there. I don't have one that
That's the point of the podcast. I put you on the spot.
Yeah, what am I doing here? I think it's I think when I was like in the music side of things, right? When I was shooting concerts and bands, and you meet people that are like, holy crap, what am I doing here? Right? So can't remember. Like it's just like random huge celebrities that would be like backstage just hanging out. They're not part of the act.
Oh, I see.
They'll just be like, I'll tell you what. I was shooting this one concert in Dubai, and it was one of those festivals. There's a bigger lineup. There's a bunch of, and I'm just walking around backstage. There's the tents and everybody's there, and then I turn around and he's not part of the show. But Jimmy Page was there. Jimmy Page, Led Zeppelin.
Oh my God.
What? He was just there. He was just kind of like hanging out, talking to people. And I'm just like,
here, dude?
I walked up to him. I'm like, hey man, I just want to shake your hand. He's like, hey, I got you, man. I just shook his hand. I'm like, I just want to shake your hand.
What a little fan.
I just want to shake your hand. Jimmy Page, like that. I think that was like, where am I? Like, what am I doing?
What is happening? I love that. Okay, that's pretty cool. I mean, it's one thing to like be doing something that you enjoy, like for fun, like taking pictures and such. It's another for you to actually meet like a pretty fucking big celebrity who's not even the main talent performing.
Yeah, I'm a huge Led Zeppelin fan.
Are you actually? You're like huge Led Zeppelin fan as well?
I'm a huge Led Zeppelin fan. Yeah.
Oh, well, that's perfect timing. You must have been so happy that night.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So my final question to you is about any kind of word of advice that you have for listeners who I mean, a lot of people shifted during the pandemic to new positions, or lost positions and had to look for new ones. And obviously, we're seeing something called the Great Resignation right now, right? Where everyone's just like, you know what? Unless my company really shows how much they appreciate me and value me, I'm out. So, what word of advice do you have for people who are in a situation where they're like, I have this passion project, or I have something that I really enjoy doing, but I just don't know if I can turn that into a career?
Yeah, I think what I usually preach is the total opposite of all the motivational videos you see online.
Oh,
Where
yeah.
like passion and you only have this one chance and blah blah blah. It's like, and it's rough. It's rough out there. So I think what I did, it might not work for everybody, but what I did was a slow transition. So like find some time you can carve out, especially when you're younger, where you can work your second job or your passion in the hours that you're not working your day job, right?
Right.
So I started in events because events are nighttime things, and I could do them after work, right? I lack sleep, which is fine for like a few years. When you're younger, it's not sustainable when you're a little bit older. But like in the beginning, you got to lose some sleep,
Yeah.
and fine. So do a slower transition, build up your passion career, a little bit before you completely pull the plug off your day job. That's one thing. The second thing is sort of in your passion, sort of diversify, have multiple business or multiple sources of income. From photographer side, I had like the events, the commercial work, the portraits,
Right.
like food, like all these little things, because there's not enough work initially to go around for like one little niche thing.
Very true.
So yeah, diversify, and you're even though you're following your dreams, or doing what you're passionate about, you still have to. It's still work. It's still a job. There's things you're gonna do for the money, because you need to eat, and you don't really
Girls
like the
gotta
project.
eat.
Fine. So just keep that in mind. It's not all rainbows.
No, that's fair. I think having realistic expectations is important, especially when you are only like relying on this as your source of income. Like, yes, there will be multiple ways to get income from this career, but at the end of the day, this is the career that you choose. It's not like you can go back. I mean, you can go back to work, but there's a reason you left it, or there is the reason that you've moved on to begin with. That's phenomenal. Thank you so much for your time on the show. I definitely learned a lot, and I would love to see more of kind of like the photos that you take, and I'll be sure to share more of it on my podcast Instagram page. But thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you for having me, Sara. I appreciate you.
Of course. Thank you so much, and have a great day, everyone. Bye.
Bye.